Martin Popoff from the Contrarians back again with another Patreon series review. This isn't a platinum one because we're talking about a gold album here, a US gold. I want to thank Jacob Villanueva for commissioning this one. We are talking about The Cure's The Head on the Door. There's your typical not great Cure album cover. A lot of them are just dreamy, weird, vague covers. Yeah, just not the greatest band for album covers. They like being abstract and quizzical about what they do. But yeah, this is my favorite album by The Cure. Remember, I actually did The Cure book. I don't think I'm selling copies of it anymore, but it was a panel discussion book of the entire catalog. Although I think we are missing the last album that came out after that book came out. Anyways, this has always been my favorite, The Cure album. I really like the top as well. Um, and it's a very commercial album. Am I a poser Cure fan? Maybe. It's not as commercial even as some of the next ones. I would say, but I think it is a very commercial album. Produced by David M. Allen. Of course, he's got a really nice pedigree here. Sisters of Mercy, the Chameleons, who I love, Depeche Mode, who I should get into more, but I don't. The Mission, I'm trying. The Human League, should try a little more. The Associates, that was actually a really cool band as well. So this came out August 30th, 1985. It got to number 59 on Billboard. I mean, this was a good video band. I think videos helped this band a lot as well. Very unique band. I guess the leaders of the goth movement, the commercial end of goth. You might put the Damned in there as well, and then we've got much less commercial bands. But yeah, Robert Smith, just that very interesting look with the big hair and the red lipstick and everything. Just a very distinctive, cool band. Has had a long, great career. During the promo of the album, he said, Robert said that this was inspired by Kaleidoscope by Susie and the Banshees, which I love, and Dare by the Human League. He wanted it to be eclectic with different styles and moods. I think he's got that on here. It is a very eclectic album, but there's just enough that I love. You know, I want to hear some melody. I don't want to hear particularly noisy Cure or vague, completely drugged out, stoned, hypnotic Cure either. I want some action on my Cure records, and I think this definitely delivers that. Yeah, so it went gold in the US and in the UK. The return of Simon Gallup. So we've got Robert, we've got Lol Tolhurst on keyboards, a lot of different keyboard sounds. But I mean, Robert Smith on keyboards, Porl Thompson on guitars and keyboards here as well. Let's see, Simon Gallup. Yeah, so he performed and composed with Robert and Lol on 17 Seconds, Faith and Pornography, considered a bit of a trilogy. And I can see putting those records together. They are of that thing that I just sort of described, the more dreamy, vague, simplistic, stripped down, weird albums, I suppose. And Porl played guitar in their very early days. Yeah, drummer Boris Williams previously worked with Thompson Twins, finally joins the ensemble after playing with the band during the US leg of the 1984 tour. So yeah, it's a great Cure lineup. I mean, we know there are adjustments through this lineup all the time. But let's get into the tracks. So this came out in the vinyl era. I'm gonna talk about it fondly as a vinyl album. Unfortunately, I don't own my vinyl anymore, but I do have a CD of it. Starts off with In Between Days. This is the up-tempo one with the acoustic strumming. Great melody on this. It's just, yeah, it's in your face as a very accessible song. Not particularly electronic. This was an advanced single, July 19th, 85. So it came out ahead. It went to number 15 in the UK. This is the second most famous song on the album. It is an opener and it was a single, but 268 million plays. But yeah, just a super, just great uplifting Cure song. So it dovetails with this goth image nicely because they have so much integrity, this band, I think. And it's just a very easy drinking song. Kyoto song. Love this one as well. It's described in the title pretty much. It's a very Japanese vibe where you got that plucked acoustics sound in there, steely guitar in the background. This album is produced quite 80s and harsh. There's a lot of electronic drum sounds mixed in with acoustic drums. And this one is a good example of that. But yeah, just a really, really cool melody here, just picking up the best, the best cliche of a Japanese melody, and they just make a great goth song out of it. Again, I've talked recently about how Back in Black's album cover just really paints those songs, which is a big party album, and paints them really dark. And I think that happens with this as well, although it is a fairly dark album, anyways. So maybe the album cover makes sense here. That macabre title, I love that title, The Head on the Door. Next we have The Blood. This is that awesome flamenco one, but it's got kind of that Zeppelin, drony Moroccan do 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 do, that beautiful John Paul Jonesy type thing in it as well. But very, very Middle Eastern, percussive, dancey. Um, hang on, did I hang on, the six different ways, cool sound at the beginning. Okay, so I hang on. The Blood flamenco didn't. Yeah, no, that's sorry, that's the beginning of six different ways that I'm describing there. This is just more like the flamenco, and the clapping and all that stuff. And so six different ways is the one with that cool keyboard line in there. And it's got this stumbling sort of percussion thing that goes on, and it feels kind of very children's music when the piano line comes in. It's a very spare piano line, and this is just a beautiful song. And yeah, this has that childlike, naive sort of quality. This piano thing, do 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 do. This whole thing was from that Robert had revived when he dovetailed with Susie and the Banshees for a little bit there for their single Swimming Horses. Push. To close out the side, sounds totally different than everything else on the album. This is very U2. It starts off with those very edgy guitars, and again, very, very brash production. You know, the Cure is coming from a very English place, and they're coming from all of this new romantic sounds and goth. Even Peter Collins talks about this when he does those fairly brash sounding Rush albums, right? um, Power Windows and Hold Your Fire. Um, and so they have this different aesthetic. They aren't going for low bass. They're not going for sort of an analog sort of thing. They are trying to annoy you a little bit, and you do hear that a little bit in here. You get a very brash 80s snare sound. Um, and the funny thing about this one is it's just got this long musical intro, kind of meandering, kind of light, kind of nice. And then you get kind of what you would call the chorus a couple of times, and then you get a verse, and then we're into sort of a normal song for the second half of it. But yeah, that verse doesn't come in until we're like 3 minutes in, kind of thing. Okay, side two. Don't like side two as much as side one. I think it's stacked really nicely. I mean, I look at side one and I love everything on side one. It's this falls into that sort of thing where an album for me that I really like this goes way up my list of Cure albums. So when you feel confidence in the band and you're one song, if you like one song, it makes you like the next song more and makes you like the next song more. 1 and 1 = 3 kind of thing. And yeah, this is just a great side of the Cure, my favorite Cure side probably. We start off with The Baby Screams. Don't really like this one. This is kind of a dark, dour melody. It is dancey and brash. I mean, this album can be a little ear fatiguing from a production point of view. But then we've got Close to Me, biggest song in the album, 457 million plays on Spotify alone. This is the very dancey one with the hand claps, a little bit George Michael Faith to this. Before that, and you got the breathiness in there, the very simple keyboards thing, just a gorgeous, beautiful melody, really nicely put together. I really like this better than it's Kiss Me, Kiss Me, Kiss Me. The whole double album thing, it feels like worse songs, many that could have been on this album. And I think it feels like all the better songs from this sort of mind frame of the Cure end up on this album, kind of thing. I mean, this one strikes me as that sort of song. A Night Like This, Starts in with a reverse fade, and this one sounds very much like old Cure crossed with U2, like old nightmarish Cure. The droning, depressive chords, thumpy, blocky toms in here as well. But yeah, pretty cool song, passionate, dark song. Um, and then the final two, I feel like we're moving into Public Image Limited terrain. Screw starts with that gnarly, annoying bass riff, and then it goes disco-y, horrible sort of drum sound, brash snare. So this sounds like up-tempo, dancey, trancy, disco-y, PIL. It's short one, 238. And then we go into Sinking, which is even more PIL, but it's the other kind of PIL, more of a Flowers of Romance kind of PIL. 5 minutes long. Trashy slow drumming on this one. We got the electric piano in there. So this is kind of a cross between that sort of scary horror movie PIL and trilogy era Cure, which is pretty horror movie in itself. So yeah, this album kind of tails off and gets very antisocial at the end. I mean, even a night like this is very depressing, but I love it. And Close to Me is really cool on here. So yeah, I'm not crazy about the Baby Screams, Screw, or Sinking, but I do like Close to Me and A Night Like This. But side one, love all of side one, even though I would say the outlier there is Push. It just feels a little stadium rock, rock and rockist. That's it. I haven't used rockist for a long time, not rock and rollsy, but rockist. It sounds a little rockist, like these dour and well-meaning English intellectual types. They don't want to sound too much like a regular band, and I don't think this album does sound like that very much, but yeah, you think of the way this one kicks in and it's kind of stadium rock, U2. But yeah, love it. So this is a great album. Like I say, has always been my favorite, the Cure album. And I want to thank Jacob Villanueva for commissioning this one. And you can be part of our Patreon situation and get into this review situation thing, or also, you can suggest panel ideas and then be on panels. Some of our greatest shows are the panel shows. Check out MartinPopoff.com for my books. Brand new is the Metallica album by album. Coming soon is my Aerosmith book. I've got Unchain Your Brain, the Gillan story just came out, and these big boat anchors here I can still supply: the Big Maid, the Big Dio, the Big Deep Purple. Got the audio podcast as well, History in 5 Songs with Martin Popoff. If you haven't subscribed, please do that. Like, notifications, all that good stuff. But yeah, go let us know in the comments. I come into it. I definitely get a lot of complaints sometimes when we're doing these things you don't expect from the Contrarians. But let's see if people think I'm completely out to lunch on the Cure. I am a weird The Cure fan, I think. I'm not a big disintegration kind of the big classic sort of thing. I mean, is this possibly the most commercial The Cure album? It maybe is. But I love it. There you go. Go listen to The Head on the Door.